Radio check. No response required. Just letting you know I'm here.
Stage I 2023. Hey Bill, how's you?
Hi Stig. Well, yeah, things are all on track, apart from the fact that I'm late starting because for some reason I thought it was Sunday. I was sitting there watching for ages, binge watching Smallville, you know, the Superman story, which have got many episodes. And I kind of lost track of time. Thought it was Sunday. So it's only when Lexor said, ping me a message to say I'm just getting in, that I thought, oh yeah, okay, so here I am.
Stage I 2023. Strange thing, I thought it was Sunday also.
It must be a very Sunday atmosphere then. I won't say today, because today technically is Sunday, but Saturday must have had a very Sunday atmosphere about it somehow. As usual, I'm starting in a spit, but I might try to vary it a bit tonight. We'll see.
Stage I 2023. I went out earlier and thought this is busy for a Sunday.
Well, there's definitely something in the air then, isn't there? There's a Sunday air to the day yesterday, on Saturday, or however you want to look at it. Yeah, must have been a very Sunday air. That was odd though, because I was quite totally convinced that it was Sunday. Well, not consciously convinced, but like in the back of my mind I wasn't thinking of anything other than just sitting there binge watching Smallville, on the understanding that it was Sunday. But there you go, we got an extra day in our lives that we didn't expect to have. Didn't prime it, so that's why I'm too bad when I'm talking. So whilst I'm sitting here, Steg, if you look at my stick, both on screen and the inset, you see how much I move my stick in reality, like the real stick, and watch how much the one in the aircraft moves, and see how that compares with yours. It's pretty much in keeping with the stick. The stick is moving maybe about half an inch, and I think the stick in the aircraft is moving about the same. But there's only tiny movements in the Spitfire because the stick is short. Well, the stick that we use is shorter than that's in the Spit. Are you actually going to be flying tonight, Stig, or just observing?
Stage I 2023. I will check in a bit. I did see my tail trim twitch when I was taxiing in outside view when I didn't touch the controls.
Ah, well, now that's interesting. That's interesting. So it sounds as though your stick might be sending false signals in one way or another. And that certainly won't help with takeoff or flying or landing. It's good that you jumped out and took a look.
Stage I 2023.
Yeah,
Explains
it
the odd changes
could well
in
do.
flight.
So you were looking at the actual trim tab, were you? What, on the elevator, I guess, or rudder, or both?
Stage I 2023. Rudder.
Rudder. Oh, okay. Well, that won't explain the nose up then. Let's look at mine. Right, my feet are on the rudder at the moment, so I'm going to take them off. And that's rock solid. That rudder tail trim is solid. The graphics on it are wrong, because to me that rudder trim looks like left rudder trim, but of course we give it full right for takeoff. So I think the graphic is just wrong. It's just showing the rudder trim movement in the wrong direction. So I don't think that's important, but when you look at that, to me that is definitely like giving it left rudder trim, and we don't want that. We want right.
Stage I 2023. Wonder if Cus4 not got rudder pedals connected.
Well, that shouldn't affect the trim, I wouldn't have thought. The trim and the rudder, the actual rudder control and the trim control they're separate from each other. Obviously they affect the flight in a similar, but in the case of the trim, a much more subtle way, but they should be actually separate controls. So I wouldn't have thought that would be connected, having no rudder pedals connected. I wouldn't have thought so.
Stage I 2023. We'll go get my spit out of the garage then start her up.
Good plan, like that plan. I can't remember, Steg. What are you using for rudder control? Is it a twist? I can't remember. Is it a twist on your stick? I can't remember. The other thing to remember is when you're taking off, Steg, by the time you're getting to takeoff speed, your stick should be back to its normal position, not in the back right, not that position. It should be in its normal position by the time you reach takeoff speed, which is about 90 miles an hour.
July 2023. There's keys ZX and Hotas throttle. Just trying to find name of hat switch.
Okay, I don't know if you caught what I was saying earlier on, but when you take off, a couple of things to remember is that you want your stick back to its normal position by the time you've reached takeoff speed. When you very gently rotate and get it airborne, you will probably then have to push the stick, you might have to push the stick forward a fraction. When your gear comes up, the nose will drop, so you have to pull the stick back up again. So it's constant little adjustments on that.
July 2023. Therefore noticed all that.
Yep, that's good then. You're aware of that. That's good.
at Bulls 049 for 160.
Ghetto Zebras. Hey guys.
Hi Ghetto. I'm gonna say that I hope everything's okay for me tonight. It all seems fine. Although I was just saying to Steg, for some reason I thought it was Sunday today. I was busy watching Smallville, like binge watching Smallville, sitting there quite comfortable and relaxed. And then I saw a message coming from Laxor saying, "Oh, I'm just getting set up." And I thought, "Oh yeah, it's Saturday, not Sunday." Though technically it's Sunday now, of course. Okay, I think I'm going to head east of the runway and check out those BTRs, which I believe are still there.
Stegi 2023. Bill, don't know if you still have your hot ass box, but the trim switch is preset to button 1.
Hot ass box? Not sure what you mean. That's all foreign to me, I'm afraid.
Ghetto Zebras. They'll be in shortly.
Copy that, Ghetto. Yeah, for my
2023. The box it came in has switch button numbers on.
The switch button with numbers on. No, I'm still not getting that one. Don't understand that one.
Ghetto Zebras. Joining them.
Super stuff.
Stegi 2023. You asked me which button I was using for trim.
Did I? Sorry about that. Yeah, what button are you using for trim? Oh right, oh okay, so yeah, you're in territory that I don't know, because I'm not sure what you mean out the box has a switch button numbers on. Can't remember what you've got. It's not the Thrustmaster, is it? It's at least if it is, it's not both, is it? Refresh me on what you've got. Not that I'll necessarily recognise the name if you say it.
Stegi 2023. Thrustmaster Hot Ass 10.
So you have got the same as this?
You joining Stegi.
So I'm a bit baffled, Steg. If you've got the same as I've got, throttle and stick, then I don't understand about the button.
2023. Yes.
Assume that yes is to say you're joining, Steg, so that's good.
Stegi 2023. I have exactly same hot ass as you.
Okay, well I'm a bit baffled about the numbers and the switch or the button that you're talking about. I can't relate to that. I used this, if you're looking at my stream now, looking at the inset, I used this hat up here. It's actually marked up, nose down, left, nose up for the trim, and I use that to adjust my trims on the spit. If you're not using that switch, it might be worth giving that a try, because that might be, I don't know how, but it might be part of the problem.
2023. The rudder trim is a different button.
Why don't you try using this hat switch at the top here on the stick? Someone's shooting at me.
Stegi 2023. I do.
Oh, well, I'm confused. I'm confused now then, so I'm not sure what the button is that you're talking about. So I push this button forward, this button here, or this hat switch, I push it forward to nose down to give nose down trim. Is that what you're doing? And likewise left right on this switch to give left and right trim on the rudder. Is that what you're doing?
Stegi 2023. Hey Getter. Setting up now. Ghetto Zebras. Good hits.
Thank you, sir. That's it, that lot have respawned now, I think. This lot don't respawn, these ones. Oops, too low enough. Okay, on for a belly flop. Go train spotting.
Stage I 2023. Hey Bill, when you land could you show me your prop speed axis setting?
Right, hold on. Yeah, I mean, I'll respawn then. Hold on. Right, prop pitch, which is engine RPM or something like that. Hold on. So axis commands. Engine RPM, right? And I'm going to use Joy RZ. That's the axis for the prop pitch, RZ, which you want fully fine, of course, when you take off, and pull it back to 2700, then put it back to fully fine before you land. And that forward, of course, is fully fine. So physically it comes back, if you look at the prop pitch lever, it comes back to about there, I think. About there. I'm not sure, I won't know until the engine's running. But that's fully fine, and that's going to give about 2700 RPM.
Stage I 2023. The right hand lever.
No, the other right. The left hand lever. Right hand as you look at it on the camera, I guess, but it's as you hold it is the left hand lever. So there's the throttle, and there's the prop pitch. The outside lever is your prop pitch.
Request rearming. Copy.
Copy. Rearming complete.
Ah, that wasn't supposed to happen.
What happened?
Ghetto zebras. Oh, nothing. Had a nice high-speed low pass lined up and may have prop struck.
Oh, I did that earlier on when I was attacking stuff. So yeah, I do tend to attack at rather low angles, so that's my own fault.
Ghetto zebras. Do you enjoy the mosquito as well?
Yeah, I do actually, Ghetto, and not normally if I come out of the spit, that's normally my first choice to change to something else. Is the mosquito, or failing that, it might be the A10 if I'm feeling like flying something with rockets and stuff, especially with air-to-air rockets, which is very nice. But yeah, I might do the mosquito next time I lose this aircraft. Actually, if you think that I might be able to help you with that, then I'm here and very happy to try.
Ghetto zebras. I have a trial for it and a few others. Would like to switch it up from the P-51. Landing that beast would be cool. Ghetto zebras. Going to back out real quick and rejoin.
Okay, and if you want me to jump in a Mosquito, I happily will.
Ghetto zebras. Amazing.
Because there are some tricks like to do with the takeoff of the Mosquito that are very nice to know if you don't know already, but I think I've probably pointed them out already. Right, so Steg, if you've still got my stream up, when you jump out of your aircraft and you look at your elevator and your rudder, do they look like this? And are they absolutely static when you're out of the aircraft? Because if they're twitching, that's certainly not going to help you. I've been aware of that. And there's the amount of rudder trim. As I say, graphically it's the wrong way round, I'm sure, but that's the way my rudder looks, totally unmoving. So if you've got any twitching going on, then you're looking at an issue from, I don't know, I guess your stick, but I wouldn't expect that from a Thrustmaster.
Radio check.
Yep, copy. I'm going to take a look at your aircraft, Seg, whilst you're there. Oh, I thought hang on, I thought you were in. You haven't spawned in at Beslan, have you? Yeah, you've spawned in at Beslan, but that's alright. Right, I'm looking at your aircraft now and all looks okay. But you haven't given it rudder trim yet, I see.
Ghetto zebras. Look at that beaut.
Yeah, ain't she pretty? I'm just waiting for Steg to put on his rudder trim just to see how it moves and where it moves to. And Steg, if you're hearing me, your elevator trim looks as though it might actually be slightly up, but that could be because you haven't adjusted it yet. So yeah, let me know. Let me know when you're going to adjust it. Actually, I'm assuming that Steg is on my stream, but it might not be. If you're there, Steg, just want to give me a quick yup or something. Yeah, Steg, if you copy on radio, I'm not seeing any rudder trim applied to your rudder at the moment. I'm seeing your rudder is fully left, but I'm not seeing any trim applied. I was assuming that you'll have applied it before you moved off. And yeah, you do have to be a bit careful with those brakes.
Stage I 2023. Yeah, 4 not got abs.
What are you using for your brake, Steg? As you know, you probably know, I'm using this slider here for my brake. What are you using? Are you using buttons or are you using the slider? If you're not using the slider, and if the slider is currently redundant, I highly recommend you doing that, because then you get absolute movement on it. Though that doesn't help fly it.
Not receiving you on Chan 124.
Okay, I'll do a quick check and see if you hear me. Yeah, radio check. Steg, do you copy? Steg, do you copy on radio?
He might be out of range because of him being at baseline. I'm not sure.
A very valid point, actually. Yeah, thank you. I should fly down there. I should fly down there. He did say he's not receiving me, so that could be the reason. Beslan. All right, yeah, thank you for that. I might get in the air and fly down there. If you copy on here, Steg, I don't know if you caught that, but I think that was Undead speaking. It sounded like Undead, saying that you might be out of range because you're in Beslan. So I'll fly down to Beslan. Although before that, if you're still receiving, I'm not seeing any trim being applied on your rudder or your elevator as far as I can tell at the moment. Ghetto, are you at Mosdock? Well, I should just look at the map, shouldn't I? Sorry.
Stage I 2023. Nose trim in middle, rudder trim full right.
Okay, let me jump out and take another look at your aircraft. Stand by. So I want to see that it's actually doing what you're telling it to do. Okay, now graphically you have no rudder trim showing. So if you can look at the stream, you'll see that that rudder trim tab is just like dead straight. It should be to one side. Okay, it goes to the wrong side graphically, but it should be to one side. Hang on, so nose trim in the middle, rudder trim full right. Yeah, so it looks at, as far as the graphics are concerned, you don't have any rudder trim showing on your aircraft at the moment. But you're saying that the wheel is fully right rudder, yeah?
Stage I 2023. Yes.
Okay. Okay, if you can watch my stream for a sec. Now look at my rudder.
23. Saw the trim wheel move.
Okay, well look at my rudder, and you'll see my rudder trim tab is to one side. It's to the wrong side because that's just a graphic issue, but it is to one side, whereas yours is fully in line with the rest of the rudder. I don't know if you can appreciate that or if you can see that properly. It's difficult to get to a point out. I think there it shows that the rudder trim tab is over to the left. It needs to be to the right.
2023.
Okay.
We'll just check again.
Yeah, fully right. So you just keep pumping it to the right until it stops. Once you're airborne, you'll need to put that rudder trim back to show the double D of the word rudder at 12 o'clock on the trim wheel.
Stage I 2023. That's with full trim left.
Full trim left. Alright, let me take a look. I mean, you don't want left, you want right, but let's just take a look. Hold on. Look at my stream. You'll see your trim tab hasn't moved. Hasn't moved.
Stage I 2023. I know, but just to see if it moved.
Okay, well what about if you jump out of your aircraft, get to the position that I'm at, look at your aircraft from the rear, It could be that I'm not seeing the trim that you are putting on, but maybe you will see that trim as you see it on my aircraft. Well, perhaps you don't see it on my aircraft. Perhaps you only see the trim on your own aircraft. I don't know.
Stage I 2023. Mine looks the same.
Looks the same. What, over to the? It's over to one side. It could just be when I look at your aircraft, I don't see the trim that you've actually put on.
2023. Same as you see it.
Oh, you see it. So you're seeing it straight. It's not showing that the rudder trim has been applied graphically, even though the rudder trim wheel is turned fully to one side.
Stage I 2023. I'm going to move it to full right now.
Okay, I'm watching, but I'm pretty sure it ain't going to move. Not from my point of view. Maybe just a graphic thing, but mine works graphically. I just wonder why yours isn't. So if you look at my stream as well at some point, you'll see that at the moment you have no rudder trim applied. Tell you what, whilst you're there, just to make sure that something is changing, when you get a chance, wiggle your stick left and right to give left and right banking, and I'll make sure your ailerons are visibly working for me.
Strange. Shows no trim graphically on mine too.
Yeah, now if it's not showing it graphically, I wonder if it's also not applying it to the flight model. Give your ailerons a wiggle, so move your stick left and right. Yeah, that's fine, that's fine. Now do your rudder forward and back, or sorry, not your rudder, your elevator forward and back. Okay, it's a bit jerky, but maybe mine is as well, I don't know. But that rudder trim not moving, I'll tell you what, give full elevator trim in one direction. Elevator trim as opposed to elevator itself. Give it full elevator trim in one direction and we'll see if they appear to move. It could just be that for some reason it's not giving that detail, but it does on mine. Oh, I think I'm seeing elevator trim being applied. Is that like nose down you're giving it? Maybe it's my imagination.
Actually, you want comms?
Yes, sorry. 124 check.
Shulkers are dead.
Roger that.
Laxor, copy.
Yeah, receiving.
Okay, thank you. Have you got half a minute for a quick talk about graphics and stuff?
Yeah, should be right.
Okay, I'm looking at Steg. Now, you know that Steg's been having trouble flying the Spit. He's getting by with it, but he's like workarounds, but he's dealing with it. But looking at his aircraft...
2023.
Oh, Steg's going to take off because he's run out of time. But looking at his aircraft on my stream, I've jumped behind his aircraft. He applies full right rudder or left rudder, but the trim tab on the rudder doesn't move. Now when I look at mine and when he looks at mine, the trim tab is visually to one side. I find that a bit odd that that he can't see his rudder trim tab move, but I can see mine and he can see mine. I'm wondering if that would actually affect the flight characteristics, bearing in mind that the rudder wheel, trim wheel, is actually fully right or fully left, but it doesn't register on the graphics. Do you think that might affect the flight model? Okay, yep, chocks away, Steg, if I didn't respond properly.
Would help if I push my push to talk button. He's on a dynamic spawn, I presume, rather than fixed. Not that should make any difference, but I'm just trying to work out what the differences are. I wouldn't have thought. Well, if the interior control is showing that it has been adjusted, but the exterior model is not showing movement. My knee-jerk response to that would be to grab a screenshot of the axes mapping screen to validate that there is, although you're changing the control, make sure there's not something else that's countering it. For however that might work. So that'd be one thing. We would also probably want to look at a third Spitfire, both static, well, third and fourth Spitfire, another static Spitfire and another dynamic spawn Spitfire, to see if there's any common traits.
Okay, yeah, the static stroke fixed. That's something I hadn't thought of. He will be in a dynamic. Sorry, dynamic versus fixed. He will be in a dynamic spawn.
2023. All I can hear is static. Gonna get going now.
Yeah, so
yeah, copy that, Steg.
Maybe
Fine.
there's a thing there with dynamic spawn. Is there a particular reason why flying out of Beslan, or is that just because historically we were taking fire on the airfield?
Yeah, I think it's just to get a peaceful time for takeoff. I think that's the reason he's down there, probably.
And the only reason I asked that is because obviously the Mozdocker's got the static spawns, so that would let you test the rudder trim.
Yeah, I did the push the wrong button trick. I did respond to you, but you couldn't hear me. Yes, he's down at Beslan, but I think probably, as you've said, because of historic possible issues of being blown to bits. So he wanted perhaps a peaceful takeoff, or peaceful setup and takeoff time in Beslan. So I think that's why he's there. But yeah, the static stroke dynamic, that's a valid point that I think could well affect the graphics anyway.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily get too hung up on whether it's affecting graphics or one thing or the other, but whether or not there's an issue with a dynamic spawn Spitfire, irrespective of how it manifests. So I would suggest Steggy takes a static spawn up at Mozdok. It doesn't need to even take off in that. Just sit on the spawn spot and look at the rudder to see how it looks.
Yeah, copy that. He's a bit short on time at the moment, so he said he's going to take off. He hasn't yet, but I suspect, Steg, if you can hear me, go on, get going, mate. or respawn immediately in Mosdoc so that you're not using a dynamic spawn. If you can do that, that might be better.
Yeah, or if you definitely want a static spawn that isn't Mosdoc, I think they're all the way down to the southeast. There's that Tipley Lochini, whatever place it is. I think there's some static Spitfire spawns down there. I can't remember.
Well, I think, to be honest, it'd be safe to spawn in Mosdoc, because now that the issue with the 109s constantly coming in and beating us up, that has been sort of waylaid. So I think it'd be okay to spawn in at Mosdoc. So, Steggy, is that a possible option for you to respawn? I know you're possibly a bit pushed for time now, but is that an option for you to respawn at Mosdoc in a static position rather than a dynamic in Mosdoc? Okay, I think Steggy's getting ready to go, so I'm going to watch him.
For this behemoth.
Okay, okay.
Which behemoth you're talking about, Ghetto? Because if you're talking about the Moz, I'll jump in a Moz and you can see my setup.
Ghetto zebras. Moose.
Okay, I'll jump in a Mosquito. For 9, jumping out the spit, going to take a Mosquito, so radio silence for a bit.
Where's it?
Stage I 2023. Just having sound issues to my headphones. Bill get flying, don't wait for me.
Okay, copy that, Steggy. I've actually just jumped in a Mosquito anyway, because I think Ghetto might possibly appreciate a couple of pointers that we might be able to get to him. So yeah, I'm in a Mosquito at the moment. Ghetto, you copy? We could go via radio if you like, but channel B perhaps. And if not already aware, you do need to turn on your General Electric lever, which is to the right of the sight. For 9 Mosquito, currently on 124, but I'm going to move to channel B, which I think is 135, channel B, so that I've got contact with Ghetto in case we want to do a lot of talking about setting up the Moz for him.
Alright, roger that. I'll come and find you if necessary.
Copy that. Right, so Ghetto, I'm on channel B 135 in a Mosquito.
Check.
Yeah, copy Ghetto. Bear in mind the first thing you must do in a Mosquito, if you've not flown it before, is open the window, because otherwise the ground crew can't hear you when you ask for rearm, etc.
Got it.
Okay, so now forgive me for forgetting, but have you flown the Mosquito at all, or what? I was pushing the wrong button. Yeah, so get a. Forgive me, but I can't remember. Have you flown the Mosquito at all, and you're looking for tips, or have you never flown one?
Oops, sorry. I was in the setting menu, but no, I've never flown one, and I know not much about them at all.
Okay, well, I mean, if you like, we can go through this together bit by bit to start up.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, the first thing that I tend to do is get armed, because otherwise I forget. So you're going to call for getting armed. I'm going to do that right now. I'm using voice attack at all. Are you using voice attack at all?
I'm not.
It's useful little tool. If you haven't tried it already, give it a shot at some time. It's free. It can be a very useful little tool. I'm going to get armed. I'm going to put rockets on because I quite like rockets, even if I'm useless with them.
I set the zoom view up, but it doesn't seem to be working.
Sorry, what's not working?
The zoom view?
Zoom. Okay, so you want? I use zoom in slow and zoom normal. That's all I use. I can't remember what setup you've got. You're not by any good chance another Thrustmaster user, are you?
Rearming complete.
I do have a Thrustmaster, and unless the zoom view just doesn't work in this aircraft, but I have it set up on the same thing I use for all the others. It's not working.
Okay. Well, I suppose that depends on a few things. I use this button here. If you can look at the inset on my stream, assuming you've got the stream up still, I use this button here, a direct push down, for slow zoom in, and then I use button at the back here. Well, I'll show you the settings in a minute to go zoom normal. But let's just show you the settings I have. Right, so I use zoom normal, and I'm using joy button 8, which if you've got the Thrustmaster, it should work for you as well. Joy button 8 for zoom normal, and then for normal, and zoom in slow, joy button 19. The joy button 19 is this grey one, a direct press down, and joy button 8 is the one behind the red button, one below the red button, push to the right, and that zooms you to normal view. And that's the beauty of DCS, where you can set every aircraft accordingly. You know, you don't have to. I mean, it's nice if you can have the same setting for each aircraft for various things such as gear up or whatever, but all the aircraft are different, so it's nice to be able to set them up with differences if you need to. Okay, I've been rattling away there, but it just occurs to me that on radio you probably couldn't hear me because I was on the controls screen, but I don't know if the controls screen that I just showed you, if you've still got the stream up, actually helped you.
I was messing around with some binds, but yeah, I was having the same issue, realizing that you couldn't hear me either.
Okay, well hold on a minute, let me just go and check and I'll call it back sort of audibly. Hold on, let me just go and have a look. Okay, so zoom in slow I have as joy button 19 and zoom normal I have as joy button 8, and that's like zoom in slow, which is this. I use this button here, press it straight down, that gives me the zoom in, and then the button below the red button, which I use for bombs normally, the button below the red button, I push it to my right to zoom normal, and that's joy button 8. So it's joy button 19 and joy button 8. Joy button 19 is zoom in, joy button 8 is normal.
Got it.
So when you're ready, let me know, and we'll go around the cockpit and start doing stuff. If you've armed yourself, if you wanted to get armed, we'll go around the cockpit and start getting it started.
Yep, should be good to go.
Okay, well, first thing, as with Spitfire or whatever else, brake fully on. I use this slider for my brake, as I do with the Spitfire. Brake fully on, and pull it back first, because it might not, it kind of doesn't get what you're doing until you actually move it. So make sure it's fully off, then fully on, and then prop pitch fully fine, fully forward. Oh, by the way, my prop pitch, I have my left throttle mapped to engine RPM.
Sorry, I had to bind the brakes, so brake all the way in. Should probably bind the RPM.
Yeah, and as I say, I use the left throttle for RPM on the Moz. Let me know when you're ready with that, and then we'll move on to moving around the cockpit and turning things on to get started. So you've already put your power on, obviously, because your radio's working, so that's good.
RPM all the way up, you say? And throttle just cracked?
You don't have to crack the throttle on this, unusually. Yeah, I mean, yeah, for the Spitfire we crack the throttle, but RPM fully forward, which is fully fine. I leave the throttle sitting back on its stop, and it works fine.
Gotcha, so RPM fully forward on this knob.
Yeah. Now, is it moving in the right direction when you watch it? If you look at my, I assume you've got my stream up. I don't know, but if you've got my stream up still, make sure that when you push the lever forward, it is actually going forward, not reversing.
Oh yeah, let me check. It's turning this knob just below it. Or is this like a friction lever underneath it or something?
Oh yeah, that's. I'm not even sure why that's there because we can't feel it. I don't. Yeah, it's a friction lever, but it's these. If you can see my stream, it's these two levers here for your prop pitch. Lost you there because a chopper just went flying past in front of me, so I missed what you said. Say again.
Sorry, 1 second, I'm just searching for this key bind. That's strange, I just can't find the key bind.
Key bind for what?
The propeller pitch.
Oh, it's called engine RPM. So it'll be an axis engine RPM. Hang on, I'll find it. Well, I won't be able to talk over it, but I'll find it and show it on my stream.
Okay, I got it now. It was, since I was messing around, we got the wrong keybind a few times, and I messed with the friction, and I just wouldn't even move the levers. Alright, I'm all good now on that.
Okay, now I've just noticed something that I've got to go in and check, because I think I might only be changing one prop pitch instead of both of them, so I've got to check. This is possibly a valuable little check for me. Hold on. Okay, I didn't need to change anything. You've got RPM, you've got 3 actually, so you've got RPM, and then below that you've got RPM port and RPM starboard. So that's if you have enough levers that you can actually have separate, but I assume that when you take that top option, it will adjust both engines RPM at the same time. That's fine. Right, where are we at? Are you sorted and ready for us to move around the cockpit for a start up or what?
So propeller pitch, RPM forward, brake on.
Yeah, it's the top option of those three engine RPM options.
Got it. Should be good now.
Okay, so working around. Sorry, just to check, do you have my stream up at the moment?
Yeah.
Okay, well, bearing in mind, of course, there's a delay, which I can't do anything about as far as I'm aware. But I will go round now and put on. There's 3 switches on the left, at your sort of left shoulder. Put those on, and then I turn lights on. So when you look at my stream, you should see what I'm doing for that. Okay, let me know when you're ready for the next stage.
All good.
Okay, right, so we've got those 3 switches, we've got some lights on, the power's on because that had to be on anyway for your radio to work, so that's good, that's all done. I now work along this bank of switches on the right hand side, and I put the first 5 switches to the on position. The last one will move your view so that your head is in an appropriate place to look at the gun sight. Now you don't necessarily have to do that, or you could change that in flight if you wanted to, but I tend to put it on. So I'm going to put on those 5 switches, and on that last one it put my head to the right so that I could look at the central sight. I'm now going to go to the rear of the aircraft, or behind my seat, and put the fuel on. And it's a normal click and a right click, so a normal click on this switch and a right click on this switch, and then a general on switch. So that's those 3. So you want the white tips of the switches pointing outwards, and then that switch upwards. Confirm when you're done on that.
All good.
Okay, now before I start the engines, I don't know if this is all correct, so don't, I'm not a nerd, I'm not a geek, a lot of it is seat of the pants flying for me. So I open the rad flaps just to make sure we don't get any overheating. That's these up here. Which obviously, I'll say these up here, but you get it seconds later. Once we're ready to start the engines, obviously as ignition, the magnetos get turned on. I tend to start the port engine first. I'm not sure if that's right. I'll start the port engine first, then do the starboard. But before they can start, in the Spitfire you have a primer. In this you don't. You have to ask the ground crew to do that for you, and the command is run the starter. I can't remember exactly where that is, but if you watch my stream when I ask for it, it'll come up and you'll see the sequence on there. I can't remember what it is because I don't need to, because I do it by voice attack. So I've set it up and I just do it by voice attack. So I'm going to put my magnetos on for the starboard, for the port engine. Open the covers for the port engine, the starter and booster. I'll just zoom in a bit for that. Open the starter and booster covers. And now you might have to do some mapping because you need to push the starter, hold the starter, and then push the booster. So what I do, oh no, hang on, that's on the Spitfire. Now ignore all that I've just said, just rubbish. I use a normal click on the starter, hold that, and then right click on the booster. But what I do is once it starts to turn over, I get it started to turn over, I let 4 prop blades pass roughly. I'm not sure where I got that from, but let 3 or 4 prop blades pass, and then, still holding the starter, click the booster. So I'll zoom out a bit so you can see what's happening, and I'll do that. So normal click the starter and then right click the booster after a few passes. Oh, I've already said that we have to ask for them to run the starter, and I didn't do it, so I'm going to do that now.
Run the starter. Copy.
I'm not even sure where that was. Let's find it. Hold on. They'll be on the ground crew. Start priming engines. So it's ground crew, then F6 start priming engines. That's what you'll need to get them to run the starter. So they've done that. Now I should be able to start that port engine. Keep them both pressed for a little while till it's going, then let go. Close the starter button, which doesn't close by itself. Close the cover. Put the right magnetos on. Now start the starboard engine. Okay, so I've got engines running. I think I pushed the wrong button then. So yeah, I've got buttons running, and I've got a feeling I had the wrong button pushed for all that instruction. Did you manage to understand what I was doing? Okay.
Yeah, I just got the left engine started.
Okay, that's good. Let me know when you've got both engines running, and we are then both at the same point.
Alright, both are running now.
Excellent. Right, and you've got your red flaps open, I guess. I'm now going to set trims, and I'll set the rudder trim so that the pointer is roughly between the T and the R of trim, and then with rockets on, you might not need quite as much without rockets, but with rockets on, I give it a nose down trim of just under 2 divisions. So I'm going to do the rudder trim, and I'll do the nose down trim. And the beauty of a Moz is it also does have aileron trim, so I give it one division to the right of aileron trim, and I'm pretty sure that does actually make a nice difference for takeoff. So 1 division to the right of aileron trim, so it's a right click on that knob will give you a movement of that. So let me know when done.
Sorry, what did you have the rudder trim to?
The rudder trim is let me show you. On the thing, it's roughly between the T and the R of the word trim.
Got it.
And the nose down trim is, for me, because I've got rockets on board, and I think it might need a little bit better. You might not need quite as much if you haven't got rockets. Just less than 2 full divisions of nose down trim.
Got it.
Super. Just trying to make sure that I don't lose my way here. So don't want to forget anything. Right, now before I do anything else, I normally like to, I've done my trims, I want to, oh, and don't forget the aileron trim as well, because I believe that is very helpful in takeoff. At any point now you can close your window, because we don't need the ground crew anymore. Okay, so if you've got all your 3 trims set, what I do at this stage, rather than doing it whilst I'm near or on the runway, is I set my flaps ready for takeoff. You will need to do some mapping for your gear up. But let's do the flaps. First of all, you've got to undo, move a latch to the right. I'll do this, it's on the stream. That latch moves to the right. And then you click on the flaps button, flaps lever. I'll zoom in. So you click on the flaps lever, normal click, and this flaps gauge here, once you get to it, I wait till the needle gets to between 10 and 30, and then I stop. I just put a right click to bring it up. So it's flaps lever down until it gets to between 10 and 30, then right click it to bring it up. It comes up and that latch will come in and secure it.
Got it.
Super. Right, I actually didn't do mine, did I? I was talking about it but didn't do it, so let's do it. I'm going to do mine. Right, so my flaps are set. I'm gonna open my guns switch and put my guns ready. Might be on the carpet with a CO for doing that whilst I'm on the airfield, but I tend to forget once I'm flying. And then also turn on arm my rockets, which is over here. Rockets are armed, guns are ready, flaps are set, trims are set. So before we go any further, you need to be able to bring your gear up. Now you'd have to click on this little latch here. Once again, it's all a bit behind, sorry, but there's a little latch on the gear up lever. You have to click that so that it comes down in contact with the gear lever, and then you right click, I think, the gear lever. If you're doing it all by mouse, you right click the gear lever to bring it up. If you don't put that latch down first, the gear won't come up. So you've got to put that latch down, and I've got them set up for that. I can't remember what I set it to. Oh yes I can, right, hold on.
Zebras. Gotcha. And where was the reticle on button?
The reticle on, it should all be on by default. But it's not very bright. If you haven't lined yourself up with it, if you haven't got the 5 switches flicked, then you won't see the reticle, because your head will be to one side. So you've got to have that 5th switch thrown in that position to be able to see it. But there will be somewhere a switch.
Yeah, it's on.
It's on. Okay, so you've got it there. It's not very bright, but I didn't like it not very bright, but when I had it brighter, I found that it actually obscured the target. So it's better to have it only, so it's only just visible, is what I've found. Right. So I've got a button. This on my HOTAS. This button that's at the front. I don't know what number it is. At the front of the stick. There, the grey button. I use that to operate this little latch. And that latch has to be down like that for the gear to be able to come up, which I'm not going to put the gear up because I imagine it will just collapse me on the parking spot. So I'm going to take that latch off again. To get the gear up, it's that latch down, and I can show you the mapping if you want to use the same, let me know. That latch down, and then your normal gear up, whatever you use for gear up.
I just found it. I think I got it.
Okay, so when you've taken off, when you've got up there, it's operate the latch and then get your gear up, and then bring your flaps back up to normal. So you'd have to I think you have to undo this latch and then bring your flaps up by a right click on the flaps to get them up. So we are probably good for taxi then. I'll move out. I think you're to my left. I'll move out. We taxi at about 1500 RPM or something like that. When you take off, initially you won't be touching the stick, you'll be throttle and brake. in a minute I'll go on to 124 just to announce the fact that we're going to take off soon. Right, I'm going to change frequency to back to 124 and just make an announcement. I'll come back onto this frequency. Oh, I've just been hit. What happened there?
124 check.
Ah, yeah, check.
There you
I think we might have collided. Yeah, Ghetto and I were working in the Moz, but I think he might have got a bit too close, and we've probably got to go through our start-up again, but that's alright, it's all good practice.
Ghetto zebras.
Well, startup is never an issue.
In B.
Taxi is a bit of a trek sometimes, but startup is never an issue.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to swap back to my the other frequency.
Okay.
Okay, yeah,
Ghetto zebras.
I guess what
I
happened.
couldn't see and was distracted too much. Terrible.
Not to worry, it happens. I'm sure it must have happened in real life at some point as well. So unless you want to repair, we can respawn. Well, in fact, to repair, we've got to shut the engines down. So we can go back and respawn and go through that again if you like. As I said to Laxor just then, it's all good practice. So do you want to go back and respawn and restart, or just cut the engine and then keep everything else as you've got it? It's possibly a little quicker to cut the engines and then get repaired. I don't know. What do you want to do?
There's some content for you.
What do you want to do? Do you want to repair, or do you want to go back and respawn? What do you want to do?
Yeah, just reslotted. But
Slot?
yeah,
Okay.
it's
Oh
crazy.
yeah.
It was almost like not even the aircraft, like getting used to it, just a complete fuck up on my end.
Not to worry, no problem. I say just restarting again is always good practice to do it straight away. The shorter time there is between startups, the more chance there is of you remembering what you need to do to start up. I'll reslot. Okay, radio check, copy Zebra. Zebra, I always call you Ghetto. Don't forget to open your window. Copy Ghetto. Okay, do you want me to go round again, or do you feel as though you remembered it all?
I think I've remembered it all.
Okay, so the guts of it is putting on all your various switches, and then it's the usual, make sure you've got fuel and make sure you've got magnetos. Ask for permission to start the engine, and of course get armed before we do much else. I'm going to ask to get rearmed, and I'll go round and get started. By the way, something I meant to mention, if you do a repair in this, the ground crew are a bit sloppy in as much as they leave the door open, so you'll need to close the door after a repair in this aircraft.
Gotcha.
Request rearming. Copy. Rearming complete. From the starter. Copy.
Yeah, I'm just pulling out. Okay, I'm going to go to channel A just to announce our departure so that people know what we're doing. At 49 and Ghetto in Mosquitoes 08, preparing for takeoff. Okay, Ghetto, so I'll run through what I'm gonna do and then hopefully I'll do it and hopes you'll be able to get what I'm saying, yeah? Okay, Ghetto, copy.
Gotcha.
Okay, right, so for takeoff in this, I'm not going to touch my stick initially. It's all going to be throttle and brake. So I'll leave the brake mostly on, but not all the way on, and I'll throttle up. And then she'll be moving along, and the reason for that is there's not enough airflow over the rudder to give the rudder authority to control the aircraft. So you're using the wheel brakes and the rudder pedals, so the rudder and the wheel brakes and the throttle to take off. And you're gradually going to be increasing the throttle. As you're guiding yourself along the runway using your brake and very gradually reducing the braking that you're putting on, to keep us straight, bearing in mind I'll check your trims in a minute, to keep us straight. Eventually the nose will drop, so the tail will come up, the nose will drop, at which point you can then carefully bring the brake fully off, and now you're on the stick and the throttle for a normal takeoff. Once you get up, of course, it's hit your little switch to operate that latch, get your gear up, move the other slip latch, and get your flaps up. How does that sound?
Ghetto zebras. Got it.
Okay, right. Well, I'm going to do that now. Make sure your prop pitch is fully fine.
I'll watch you on stream real quick.
Yeah, okay, that's good. That's good. So also make sure you've got your trims set. So trim between T and R, and for me, because I've got the rockets, I've got just under 2 divisions of nose down.
Got it.
Good. And also you want your aileron trim on your first division to the right. My brake is on. I'm going to throttle up, bring the brake off, and just guide the aircraft with the rudder pedals and the brake with differential braking until the nose drops. It's going to take too long to get up to speed. Throttle's quite way up. I'm gradually going to reduce the brake. The rudder will start to get authority. Once the nose drops, I can get rid of the brake completely. The nose is dropping. Got quite a lot of throttle on if you can look at my RPM. Brake is fully off. Rudder's got authority. About 120. I'll rotate now. Hit the switch. Gear up. The latch for the flaps. Bring the flaps up.
Ghetto Zebras. Classic Bill. Making it look easy.
It was a little bit worried because I couldn't see the side of the runway for some of that, so I wasn't dead sure where I was positioned because I kept myself to the right just in case we were going to take off together. But if you take yourself to the middle of the runway, why not? Now I'm going to pull my prop pitch back to about, once again, 2,700 as we did on the Spit. Bring my boost back to below, or to about 7 or 8. So you're gradually going to be reducing your braking. As long as you've got control, as long as it's not doing what it wants, as long as it's doing what you want, you can reduce the braking. Got a good amount of throttle now. That looked like a damn good takeoff.
Surprised it went that way. I just have to switch, adjust some of the curves on the stick. A little sensitive.
Okay, don't forget to get your gear up if you haven't already thought of it. I'm going to move briefly to 124 channel A. Very quickly up back on 124 just to say hello Undead, lovely to see you in a Spit.
Won't be seeing me for long. I think I'm going down.
Enjoy it while you can then.
How long are you going to?
Oh yeah, it's going off to, should we call it 3 or do you want to go beyond or before?
Probably 3 at a maximum.
Okay, that sounds good. So let's say, yeah, let's make it a hard 3 o'clock max.
Say what?
Yeah, hard 3 o'clock maximum or latest. So I'm going to switch back to 135 channel B. because I'm hopefully assisting Ghetto in his stuff. He's just made a lovely takeoff, as far as I know, first takeoff. How does it feel, Ghetto?
Not bad, just messing around with the trims.
That little bit of aileron trim, I believe, helps a lot with takeoff.
There we go.
I'm just about on your 6, not too far behind. 7 o'clock.
That looks cool on the F3 cam.
Yeah.
Nice. Try to just be aware, I'm gonna check a key bind. I should be trimmed out pretty leveled off.
Yeah, copy that. You are dropping altitude and we are taking ground fire. Maybe we should go and get our own back on them.
There we go. Okay.
I lost them, I don't know where they were. Actually got a hit with some rockets. Not a kill, but a hit.
Nice. I was attempting to drop a bomb, didn't release.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you have to do things for bomb release. I can't remember. I don't use them, so I can't help you on that one.
Oh, you know what? I see the bomb panel.
Yeah, you have to do stuff in the bomb panel, yeah. I'm even worse with bombs than I am with rockets. Oh, I'm taking hits. The infantry that are hitting us, there's in the field next door, parallel to the trucks. There's infantry with nasty stuff to throw at us. Oh, I've stalled out. I don't think I can get out of this. Nah, I'm gone. I lost an engine anyway. Okay, I automatically jumped in a spit, but never mind. I'll go for about another 15 minutes max. I meant to say that on radio. I'll go for another 15 minutes max.
Request refueling. Request
Copy.
rearming.
Copy. Refueling complete.
Just checking if Ghetto's on B on 12135.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to switch back to 124 Channel A now. Hold on, let's just have to look at the map. Oh, you're in a Mosquito again, just there. Oh, right, okay. Okay, because I'm just come on now to jump on the radio just to sort of say goodnight to everybody. That's all really. So I'm going to jump back to 124 Channel A. Okay folks, for those who's copying, it's now very close to 3 o'clock and that was going to be our latest, so I'm just jumped in a spit to say goodnight really.
Ghetto Zebras. Take care fellas, sorry about the crash there, Bill.
Absolutely no problem whatsoever. That's the beauty of a flight simulator, isn't it? You can do what you like and you come out perfectly unscathed. No, it's alright. And as I say, going back in for a respawn, it's almost a good thing because it means you're going through that startup procedure again soon after the previous one, and it's more likely to be in your mind, you know, to be able to do it. So it's no problem at all. Alexa, you got your ears on? I'll just wait to see if anyone comes back, just to acknowledge the fact that you know, it's been nice flying with them and yourself. That was particularly good. That was a particularly good takeoff, I thought, with the Mosquito there, Ghetto. So you did, I think, really well. Looks like Steggy's down there beating up the 120s or the A20s, sorry, or the fighter that's accompanying fighters that are accompanying them. Alexa, you copy? Got a feeling he's not got his radio on. Let's just see what he's doing. Radio check, Laxor, you got your ears on? There's only Laxor and I and Steg, just the three of us in the server at the moment. So hopefully Steg's having some success down southwest there with the the A20s and the 109s. So he's on his way back. Oh, wait a minute. He's in an F-16. I thought he was in a Spit for some reason. He was earlier, I'm sure. Anyone copy on 124?
Roger.
Yeah, copy. You're landing now or what? Are you receiving? You're not receiving? Lexor copy. Lexor copy. You not copy? No copy? No copy? Lexor copy. Lexor copy.
Okay. 124, check.
Receiving.
I'm seeing voice twitch, but I'm not hearing any TX.
Okay.
It's like an on-off, key depress, but no voice. Did it. was the rhythm I was getting from it, but no voice. Try again, one more time.
Check, check. Check, check. Check, check. Check, check. Check on B, check on B, check on B. Oh, I'm on A and B. No, I wasn't. Check, check. Check, check.
Mazda. Request startup.
We can ping into Discord briefly if you want, unless sign off on Teams.
Hello, copy.
Yep.
That's all good then. Yeah, that's all good then. That was quite a good fun evening actually, and of course I wasn't suffering issues as I was the previous night. So that was quite good. Helped Ghetto with the mosquito, and he did a really good takeoff. I think it was his first takeoff, and it was really good. So
Yeah,
it was really nice that like what I was showing him paid off, because he didn't really know how to start it. I had to take him round the cockpit for start up and things like that. And on the first occasion, he did chew my tail end off with one of his engines, so we had to respawn. But that's all right. It's just more practice in starting the aircraft up. But yeah, and it was good.
Yeah.
So I took off, and then I circled around a bit and watched him take off, and it looked good. So. And that's down to you as far as I'm concerned, because I was struggling with the mosquito, and then you were saying like just use the brake and the throttle and the rudder pedals for takeoff, and then swap to the stick only when the nose drops, and that's what I've been doing, and that works.
Right.
And it obviously worked for him.
Yeah, excited. I think was it this mosquito I was using the like 10% brake whilst it was during the taxi, or during the takeoff up until the point, as you say, as the tail starts to lift.
Yeah,
And then you've got
or
more
even
authority, haven't you? Yeah.
even more of authority, even more of a more percentage, a higher percentage of braking even to start with, just to sort of, because you've got no authority on the rudder from airflow, obviously. So yeah, I tend to have fairly high braking and bring it gradually back as I'm throttling up, and I do throttle up reasonably high. I'm probably going to be throttling up to about 12 boost. But it worked. It certainly worked for him. He seemed to take off nicely, and he was hitting targets and stuff, so all good.
Good.
Right, well, I'll shove off then,
Right,
and catch you next Friday.
Oh yeah. No, I can't stream next Friday. I can't fly next Friday, Saturday. So I was going to say to you, Thursday, Sunday. Does that work?
I think so. We'll give it a shot. I mean, let me know at the time when you're setting up.
Yeah, sure.
I think it's good. Thursday. The thing that I was waiting for was actually the Thursday just gone, because I took the car in. I don't know if you remember the issues I had with the battery.
Yeah, vaguely. Yeah.
Okay, so eventually, anyway, I booked it in, and they took it in on Thursday, and to check the battery. And sure enough, I'm kind of glad that the battery needed changing. It's only guaranteed for 3 years, I think, but it is 5. This is like 5, and being a car that was used for demo, it probably had a number of short runs, so it probably didn't do the battery any favours at that time. But anyway, now it's got a new battery, and I feel much more comfortable that I can drive it with slightly longer gaps. But they do recommend 30 minutes of driving every week anyway, just to keep it tip top. So anyway, that was Thursday. So I was just thinking, what was it about Thursday, apart from the obvious, spag bol.
Right.
But I was thinking, what is it about Thursday? And it was the one that's just gone, where they did the car, which is good. So that's something I'm not got to think too much about now.
Yeah.
All right, we'll perhaps catch you Thursday. Let me know on Thursday if you're flying on Thursday. Just drop me a message to say you're flying and setting up, and maybe I could do that. And Sunday, you're saying, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just let me know.
Yeah, sure.
Right. Catch you next week, or whichever day it is.
Yeah. All right. You take care.
And you, yeah. TTFN.
Bye.
And for the sake of my stream, if there's anyone there, I don't know if there is, but if there is, thanks for being there. It's always nice to have people watching and ideally
Looney.
interacting.
Sure.
Looney, hello Looney. Oh, I didn't know there was anyone there. I'm glad
Looney.
that there's someone there.
Thanks for the stream.
And thanks for being part of it, because just by chatting you're being part of it. It's always good to know that there's people there. It's even better if they interact in some way. That's very good. So we'll probably be flying next on Thursday. We normally do Friday night and Saturday night, but for various reasons we might well be doing Thursday and Sunday this coming weekend. Instead of the actual weekend, it might be Thursday and Sunday. Well, that's going to be a bit play it by ear, but if you've got us if you've got notifications set, you'll see when we're flying anyway. Thanks for being there, Looney. Nice to have someone there.
Looney. Nice, we will be any here.
Jolly good. All right.
Looney. The asterisk.
We'll catch you there. Before you go, Looney, do you fly in DCS normally, or do you prefer just to view? Sorry about the black screen. I actually clicked to exit DCS, but we've still got comms anyway.
Looney. Have still to learn a lot, but became a big fan of DCS.
Oh, okay. What do you like to fly? Because I'm definitely a
Looney.
Warbirds.
Love watch you veterans flying.
Yeah, I like the old Warbirds. My Spit is the fact. Sometimes I'll only fly the Spit during the course of an evening. I normally start on the Spit.
/ MiG-29 Fulcrum, but no radar is pain in the axe.
Yeah, well, see, there's a jet. The jets don't do it for me. They just
Looney.
don't have the magic.
The Spit is cool too.
Spit is the coolest as far as I'm concerned. Any of the Warbirds, like with that big fan at the front,
Looney.
always beats the.
Never used the WW2 planes.
Oh,
but
yeah.
try.
Yeah, please do. And if you join us on the server, Looney, especially if you jump in a Spit, and if you're not sure of it, we're always happy to help people. You know, I love to sort of sit alongside someone else in a Spit who's never flown one, and help them with the start-up process, and then give them some guidance for taxiing and take off, etc. So feel good to do that.
Okay, cool, because I have one. You have a Discord for the server.
Do, but I mean, you can get that when you go on the chat, which obviously you can't at the moment, but by typing exclamation mark DCS in the chat, it will give you the detail of that. But we tend to use the
Stream
aircraft
elements.
radio anyway.
At Looney, we fly on the Lagland server. Join the Discord for server details and more information about the mission.
So there you are. That's
Looney.
the information.
Okay, cool.
But as I say, we don't tend to speak to each other on Discord when we're flying. We tend to use the aircraft radio because it just feels a bit more realistic. Yeah, so that's what we tend to do for talk, and we use a different channel. Earlier on,
Perfect.
I was
got that too.
yeah, I tend tonight we tend to use.
Yes, but him still ain't new.
That's all right. We tend to use channel or 124 hertz, which in the Spitfire, as an example, is channel A. But like tonight, because I was assisting Ghetto in flying the Mosquito, we went to channel B, which is 135, so that we could have a conversation between ourselves without it getting really messy on the airwaves. But yeah, generally the aircraft radio, but there is, as you saw, there is the option at some point for Discord. We tend to keep Discord as like an emergency backup, if you like, in case there's something going odd with radios, or not being able to, new people not being able to set their radio up or whatever. So we do sometimes do that, but generally speaking it's going to be the aircraft radio, on the right frequency, of course. So you'll be very welcome, Looney. If you grab yourself a Spit, whether it's on trial or whether you own it, bring it in, and if you want to have a little bit of assistance, I wish I'd had it, to be honest, because at one point I thought, I'll never be able to fly it. You're welcome.
Time in the Spit.
Yeah, hopefully. No, for some time I thought I'm not going to be able to fly the Spit because I was doing it wrong. You know, and as usual, you blame the Spit, if you like, you blame the tool. But later on, I found out how to use it and how to do it. Like as I was teaching Ghetto about the Mosquito, there's the ways to do things, and the way to take off, etc. in a Spit. Once you've got the feel of it, it works nice, and she flies beautifully. But remember, the Spit is a lady in the air, but she's a bitch on the ground. Okay, they say that for a reason, because she's not nice on the ground. When you land in a Spit, you haven't landed when your wheels touch. You've only landed when you stop, when you've actually stopped moving. But yeah, please come and join us. Look, if you've got notifications set, you'll know when we're flying. Come in, introduce yourself, ideally on the radio, but you could possibly do it on chat or on the stream. Come on my stream and let us know in advance that you're coming in. Yeah, be very welcome in, and I'll be very happy to take you through Spit and Mosquito, I suppose, are the ones are my favourites that I like to talk about. So I'm going to shove off. I'll give it a few seconds because I know these messages are delayed. I'm going to shove off and catch everyone next week sometime, either the Thursday or the Sunday, or both, who knows. Okay, so I've given it a few minutes. I'm guessing I'm guessing we're done. So thanks for joining us. I'm going to close the stream now. Thanks for joining us, and maybe catch you again, maybe even on the airfield next week, Thursday or Sunday. But normally Friday and Saturday, but maybe next week Thursday and Sunday. Right, take care. Thanks for